Now there are mod specialists who go one step further. I've noticed in the last probably half year, I would guess, there are a group of Brazilian modders who are making Brazilian specific equipment. For many years we've had Eastern European modders who are making Polish maps and Czech tractors and stuff like that. And so, it's interesting to see. There are modders out there who are making equipment that they're interested in. I want to play on a Polish map because that's where I live. I want Polish equipment because that's what I see on the roads around here. I also like, Black Sheep Modding tends to do. His maps are not modern. They're older, villages that have been around for the last 1,000 years. And we're now in the 1980s, or 1990s, but they don't demolish those houses. Those houses have stood for hundreds of years, and that's what the villages look like. So you've got the air of, this place has been around since before you were born. And then for, Farm Sim 19's the Old Stream Farm, he turned the dealership into a gas station, or the previous dealership into a gas station, and put a nice new sort of metal glass construct just outside the village. And it feels good, it feels right. It feels just like what's happening in Europe. And he did for Farm Sim 17, he did the classic Massey pack, or old Massey pack. And it gives you something different to work with. It's one of the reasons why Ungersheim is being played the way it is. It's an old, one, I didn't have a lot of money, but two, I'm using an old Zeta, two-wheel, barely any horsepower. I missed some down. And some very small older equipment, and just seeing how well we do with it. But it's something that provided me options, and really it was a challenge to me, see what I could make from it. Now I happened to pick a map with almost 150 fields, and almost every field can carry a contract, so there are a lot of income opportunities outside of my 3 2-acre fields, or whatever size they actually are. So being able to do all the contracts kind of made it a little bit easier than the challenge started out at, or the goal of the challenge started out at. But it has been a fun series working with that old small equipment and the limitations that places on you. This map is more modern equipment. Money is an issue. We're not just since the startup and just setting up the farm to start, we've not really gone overboard with with cheating anything. So it's all, if we want to buy something, we've got to make the money. We've got to make the money to buy it. My personal feeling on a lot of US maps is there hasn't been the draw. I look at it and say, I could work with this because it's got something. There were the older maps where the fields were 50 acres each, and it takes you 3 days to harvest it with your starting equipment, and that gets tedious very quickly. Now, obviously, you can cheat in the money and actually give yourself some reasonable starting equipment. But I've quit more maps than I care to think about, because the setup didn't match the map. But do you want do you want to, if you want to start from scratch, as a colloquial saying rather than as a game mode or a game start mode, you're going to start with small fields, small equipment, but there isn't a sort of start as a continue a family farm type of thing, where we've got the equipment, we've got the land, and you've got to keep it profitable and do more stuff. I think the whole starting out with almost nothing, that's part of, I think, Giant's idea of the game. You start with 2 fields, you've got 50 fields on the map, you've got equipment sufficient to work what you've started with, and then it's up to you to make it go further. Expand the farm, buy the more fields, expand your flock of sheep to silly numbers, that type of thing. Now, some people just want to get out there and I want to play on the Millennial Farmers map and have all of his nice toys and just have fun doing that. Other people want to, want the challenge of, playing the game. I mean, it's kind of like games like Civilization. I enjoy the beginning. Starting up, I've got 1 city, I've got 1 troop, and then I'm exploring the world. So you've got the world exploration, meeting the new people, inventing better sharp pointy sticks to stab things with. And then you get into the middle game where it's really settled down, there's no new lands to settle. And it really devolves into diplomacy and wars you can't control. And at that point, the game kind of loses interest for me. So I'll probably play the game all the way through once, and get to the end and either a technological win or I think in Civ 1 I did the be the only empire left in the world, and I was the Mongols and I won using horses. I don't think I even invented knights. It was really horses with men with sharp pointy sticks on the back. And then it kind of loses interest, and I'll start the game off many times, explore the world and do all the things and do the research, but once you start inventing muskets, I kind of lose interest, and it's sort of, okay, I'm done with that one. I don't really care if I won or lost, it was just getting there. Yes, although that said, that house on Chellington, that's not a British house, I'm sorry. I have never seen any house in Britain look like that. But then that said, the house on this map, because of the way Farm Sim game works, I get frustrated trying to get up to the bedroom because you get stuck on the walls and stuck on the doorways and stuck on the furniture, and it's frustrating, and that annoys me. In a way, I'd prefer to be able to just stick a welcome mat outside the house, walk up to it, and go to sleep. And that's something that Black Sheep did with his Farm Sim 19 Old Stream Farm. Was it Old Stream Farm? Yes, the Old Stream Farm. You could go in the house, you could walk around it, it was a novelty, but all you had to do was walk into the lintel of the front door and you could activate the sleep trigger from there. You could activate the sleep trigger from inside the house. The entire house was the sleep trigger, but you just had to be just inside it in order to activate the sleep trigger. So I didn't usually bother going upstairs and to the bedroom because it got frustrating trying to fight my way through the doors and everything. And that, then you get me griping about Farm Sim physics with the pallets and the bales. It's sort of, there are some things this game could really do with some improvement for. Even if it's just doing what CSZ tried to do at one point with their pallet forks, was to be able to drive up to something with your pallet forks and press the attach button like you do with all of the equipment, and it would attach the pallet to the fork. Now, you couldn't just drive up to a pallet and attach it to anything. It had to be attached to, it had to attach to a fork, but then it stayed attached. So you could now drive around with a thing on the pallet fork and it wouldn't fall off. And when you wanted to drop it, you press the the same button, detach the pallet from the fork, and the thing would stay where you put it. And the problem with Farm Sim physics with pallets and bales is they get stuck to the forks. And when that happens, it's a nightmare trying to get them to go where you want them to. Sometimes to the detriment of everything else you just stacked there. So, something needs to be done about the bales and the pallets. I mean, at least with 19, I can buy seed pallets and then just drive a cart up to them and press the load button, and it will just load seeds into the back of the cart. So I don't have to mess around with pallets on a fork. And while it's nice, it's a little bit what's the word for it? I still like to be able to pick up a pallet on a pallet fork and then load the seeder or whatever. Or as we did in 17, we had an auger wagon, but I would have to load the pallets into the auger bed. So I still needed the front loader for that, but once it was loaded I could just drive the auger alongside the seeder and just pour the seed in that way.
Hey, have lunch. Quickly, we got stuff to do.
Okay, we are kind of getting to the end here, I guess. Because I have stuff I have to do as well. Yeah, now, my gripe is I don't think that CSC pack actually got their pallet attach function to work entirely successfully, which is a shame. So they removed it after one update, but it was very helpful to just be able to, and even now I can still turn off the collisions on the forks, which is an improvement. I still have to I still have to pick that pallet up properly, but once I've picked it up, I can just as soon as I've got the pallet exactly where I want it, I can turn the collision off the fork and it stays there. Other people have tried straps on forks, so you can put something on a fork and then strap it down and it won't slide around and fall off, but you still have a problem with the unload. And yeah, I don't know why we got onto that subject, but we did. Probably because I'm frustrated with pallets and bales and stacking and falling over and all the rest of the palaver. But yeah, I'm pretty much stuck on the CSE. Yes, but and that someone bought one of those out with the big bags first couple of months, and I know some of the YouTubers were using that just to pick up. While it was designed for use with the big bags, they were using it to pick up their wall pallets and other stuff, and it did handle a lot better than the standard forks. But I'm fairly satisfied with the ability to turn off fork collisions, and for the most part I haven't had too much problem stacking bales of wool. You know what, this is just because of the slope of this field, this is not working, so I'm going to drive down the end here. We'll do the same bit over again. Oh, right, yes. Yeah, and that's a function of what is it? The sort of the strapping down mechanism is because you can put a bale on a trailer and turn a strap on and it will strap it down, but as soon as you put another bale next to it, it can cause problems because the first bale is kind of part of the trailer, or treated as part of the trailer, or the new bale gets stuck in the strap, and can be all sorts of problems there. Okay, this is working. So anyway, we're almost top this field. Well, I'm going to say almost. We're about 2/3 of the way through this field, I would guess. Let's put that on cruise and back to there. So yeah, we got a good amount of this field done. We're going to have to continue next week. Finish it off. It's 8 o'clock in the morning, so we've basically got an entire day of harvesting sugar beets, most likely. The sunflowers not even close yet, so they'll be in the ground for probably another 2 days. Oh, the other thing is round about lunchtime on this day, the silage should be brewed, so we can attempt to take that to the BGA on the autoload truck. But then again, I mean, you say it should only be the width of the strap, but and that may be it behooves a modder to make the straps close enough that you can stack a bale or a pallet per strap. But I can see the point of, if I've got straps that are 8 feet apart and I'm putting a 5 foot wide bale on the trailer, and strap it all down, I kind of want all of my bales to be strapped down, not just the ones that have straps over it. It's, I can see the argument for both, both ways. You need more strap points so that I can put a strap on the middle of each pallet or a strap on the middle of each bale, but they're at a fixed position on the trailer that I'm loading them on. And you do get, there are times I will just get in a tractor and just press the strap everything button, and I probably don't want to see 50 straps down a 25 foot trailer. But that's just a thing, I guess. Okay. So we're nearly done with this edge. I think there's one of the rows I need to clear up because it looks like we're going to end up going the right way up that row, so that's a good thing. Yes, and so because we're playing a game that's supporting for both PC and console, you have to be aware of the limitations that consoles have that PCs might not. And of course, we're kind of hoping with the new the new generation of consoles that came out this year, that maybe those limitations will be somewhat reduced and we'll be able to see some notable improvements on issues we've had with Farm Sim in the past. So, kind of the reason why we haven't got great... Whoops, I pressed the button. Now, how do I get back? There we go. The reason we haven't got good physics on Farm Sim is because maybe limitations on the console. I mean, for the most part, I'm not too worried about that. I know there are PC-only mods that have interactive controls on the tractors, so I can open the doors and the windows, but to be honest, I'm perfectly happy with tractors that I can't open the doors on. It's good for a role-playing aspect. It's not necessarily a thing that makes the game as a game more enjoyable. No, I don't want to be in that row. I want to be in the next row over. So let's do that. Thank you. So there's the detail, yes. But there's still times I'm looking for a tractor. Valtras, I found the Valtra pack that this comes in, and I happen to prefer this pack to the base in-game, but frankly I could use the in-game tractors, not a problem. This one has more engine options, and so it has more pricing options. I can make it cheaper than the in-game version by using the smallest engine. But I'll still use, what is it, the Massey 57? Oh, I'll still use this tractor. I'll tend not to use the T5. The 5600, the Massey Ferguson 5600, very popular. Valtra N, although, to be frank, I like that one. It's a little bit more limited than the N. Where is it? Engine size only goes up to 135 rather than 205. But it's a good solid tractor, and I think it's a bit cheaper than the N as well. How much does the N come in? 121. Yeah, 79. It's a lot cheaper than the N, and it's a lot more usable than the A. So you're paying a little bit more, 15,000 more, but it has a front attacher, which was one of the shortcomings we found with the A, was you couldn't fit a front weight to it. You could have a weight on the front, but it was insufficient for some jobs. So yeah, there's still in-game tractors I'll use. I mean, the Lindner 130. We were using the Lindner 90 until the 130 came out on this farm, and I don't mind that. The Fendt harvester we're using is based off the Massey Ferguson, and it doesn't have any more detail. It's a Massey, it's the in-game Massey Ferguson painted green. It's different, but it's not special in any way. So now someone did a mod version of the 7200 that does that. And the other thing is the 7200 comes with the spaced narrows. So if you look, you can see if this was working right, the sugar beets would not be being crushed by my wheels, because the wheels are spaced sufficiently between the rows. And that's the whole point of that. And you use them with beets and potatoes. And probably carrots and onions, except we don't have those at the moment. Yeah, but you can, that's the thing. You can get close, narrow duals, and you can get spaced. And the spaced ones are specifically for this type of crop. But yeah, the 7200 is a good tractor because it's medium, but it has a good engine range. It's cheap, and it has all the wheel options you want. And I have the same argument in favour of the Fendt Favorite 500, 1100, 110, 150. It's fully spec'd. It's 151 horsepower with a front loader and every front PTO, and less than that, just a couple of bucks shy of 100,000. It's incredible value for money. But the problem with those tractors is you can end up, because of how good they are compared for the price point compared with everyone else or everything else, you can end up using them to the exclusion of everything else. It's the problem I have with the Valtra N from Farm Sim 17. It was a tractor you could put a serious amount of horsepower on, didn't cost you a lot of money. And so just for versatility, it was a good single starting tractor if you were doing a single tractor farm. But I kind of get to the point where, okay, I figured out what the best tractor for price is, but today we're going to do Fendt type of thing. So what Fendt can I find that fits what I need to do? And I'm not using the Fabric 500 or 500. I don't know, 150, 500, whatever it is. Or today I'm going to do a case farm, but I'm not going to use the 7200. I'm going to use a New Holland farm. Just to do something different. Okay, we are at midday. I need to eat. Somebody is coming round in a short while. So I think for now, on this nice cloudy early autumn day, harvesting or preparing the sugar beets for harvest, I'm going to call it a day. So everyone have a good weekend. I will hopefully be back on Thursday with some more on Goodsheim, since dance class is still in person. But for right now, I'm out of here.